Hello, and welcome back to another video of Ashraf Talks Football. We're back again, new season, game week 1. Well, it's almost over. We have one more game left, obviously, which is Fulham-Chelsea tomorrow, Monday night game. Big up to everyone who's tuned in. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. Big up to JT, the first one here, who says hit the likes. Yes, everyone, listen to JT, please. With the picture of Mikel Arteta being fed steak by Nusret. I always thought that was such a weird moment. Like, bruh. Anyways, big up JT. Is the intro just random, or is Ashraf a fellow jazz enjoyer? No, I do like jazz, honestly. I don't know if I'm as big of a fanatic as you are, because I don't listen to like specific artists and all stuff. Like, there's one called I don't know if you know him. There's a song called Daybreak by Michael Haggins. Yeah, that's my favorite. It's just incredible. I don't know if that classifies as jazz. But yeah, I listen to a lot of genres, but I do enjoy jazz quite often. Yes, perfect. I know that one. Big up Ilyas. كده خويا لاباس كل شيء بخير. الحمد لله. Who says low-key disrespect the Chelsea hasn't even played our magnificent football. Magnificent football. Hey, listen. With everything that's happening to these other big 6 teams, you better get the job done tomorrow, Elias. Or you're gonna be in the mud with everyone else. Because these away games have not been easy so far. Well, to be fair, City played at home and they struggled and they almost lost, to be fair. But obviously did well to come back. JD says, I'm not a fanatic as well. I don't have time to be fanatic about music and football. Yeah, exact same. I promise you, exact same. I just cannot be into music the way I am into football. But anyways, Chelsea's the only team I'm worried about. I mean, look, we'll get into it, but I hear you. Obviously, they have one game a week. They have in my opinion, a top quality manager. Maybe not world class, or not elite, but he's a very, very good manager who's done a phenomenal thing in Germany, obviously, to win the league undefeated, to win the league and the domestic cup undefeated. In fact, undefeated in Europe as well until the final against Atalanta. So yeah, he's a fantastic coach. I think they've got a very good team. That front three of Rodgers, Palmer, and Joao Pedro is a very scary front line. If everything clicks, obviously, and if Palmer is back to his form. I have question marks about their defense, but I guess we'll see how that goes. And while they are only playing one game a week, um, they still don't have the best bench, in my opinion, or the best depth overall, especially in the midfield and defense. Um, but yeah, playing one game a week, maybe they won't have to worry about that as much. Um, but look, we will discuss it. We'll do a quick preview of the Fulham Chelsea game for tomorrow. But I want to start with, obviously, I want to go through the games that obviously we watched Friday, Saturday, and today Sunday as well. And we'll discuss them one by one. Obviously, give me your thoughts, guys. Please get involved in the live chat. You know me; I'm obviously quite active in involving the comments, so I am very interested in hearing what you guys have to say as well. Um, I mean, obviously, we'll start with the champions, Arsenal, the first game of the season. We obviously hosted Coventry. Um, um, Not a lot to say there. I mean, I think it's expected. A lot of people predicted 3-0, 4-0. The ones that predicted 2-0 said, oh, comfortable 2-0. It was definitely a very, very comfortable game. Like, I mean, their first shot on target was in like the late 80s, I think 86th, 87th minute, when Rodonio, whatever his name is, headed the ball straight at David Raya. We should have probably done a bit better there defensively, but outside that, like, we were so comfortable. Um, Obviously, we don't have a full 11 because Saliba, Timber, Bruno Guimaraes, the new signing, also was out. But a lot of players impressed. Saka getting on the score sheet. Zolis, big up by the way, who guys who joined now. Big up Akash. Sorry, big up Akash. Big up Hader, my bro. How you doing? Um, Saka obviously opening his scoring for the season. Havertz as well getting his first goal. And then we saw Odegaard as well, even though he scuffed that shot, but it still went in, and he had a fantastic game anyways. So I think he deserved that goal. And obviously our new signing Zolis. Look, I have completely changed my tune on him, guys. So for those of you who have watched the Kura Pod and watched on other channels how I've been quite skeptical about the transfer. Not because I had something against him. This is not like the Madueke situation or Havertz situation where I saw them, I've watched them for years before they joined us, and I'm like, yeah, they're just not good enough. With Zolis, it wasn't that I was like, oh, he's not good. It's just the fact that I didn't think he would replicate what he did in the Belgian league here, even though his stats were amazing. I looked at his compilations and his highlights, and I checked his stats, and he didn't seem like the best dribbler. He didn't seem like he was rapid. Um, but to be fair, like, and compilations always show you the best of a footballer. Plus, I actually did watch him live. I remember him playing against us in the Champions League last season. He played against Barca. He played against Man City, I think, if I'm not wrong, as well, last season or the season before. And he wasn't that great. Like, I didn't leave that game thinking, wow, that winger was amazing. But everything we see in the compilations, honestly, like, is what we have been seeing of him in preseason and in that game against Coventry. Fantastic, always forward thinking. Wants to always get the ball forward. Once, like, he does try to dribble, to be fair, and he's had a couple of good moments here and there. And then he had and then obviously, look, he doesn't get credited with the assist for Saka's goal, maybe on FPL, but obviously not by the Premier League. But that goal of Saka came because he played the ball first time with his weak foot inside the box. And I love that about him. I love that every time he has an opportunity to play it quickly inside, he doesn't waste time. If that was Martinelli would have stopped, stood on the ball, gone right, gone left, gone right, gone left, and then went finally on the outside and gave a shit cross all the way far out wide. If it was Madueke would have ran the ball outside the pitch. So very, very refreshing. Even Trossard, I don't think would have played the ball that quick, even though he was quite an intelligent footballer. I mean, sorry, not was. He is quite an intelligent footballer. But even he has a tendency to sometimes overdo it and delay the pass so he can find the right pass. But yeah, someone put it here. Is like, he's Trossard with 90 pace and 8+ hours sleep. Fair enough. I don't think he's got 90 pace, to be fair. He does seem like he's quick off the mark, but I don't think he's like got that pace where he could run that distance and beat any fullback by speed. I think he's got quick acceleration, which, you know what, might be enough, like, to be fair, because we play against a lot of low blocks, right? So that's more than enough. Big up to Hooks as well. He's like, Madueke created most chances. No, he didn't. Stop it, Hooks. Stop lying. Stop just lying and spreading fake facts. Make sure you guys subscribe to the celebrity if you're not already. I mean, I'm pretty sure all of you are because this guy is obviously a big man on YouTube, so he doesn't need me to um, uh, try to big up his channel. It's already big as it is. But yeah. Oh, jeez. What the hell did I just do? Uh, Akash is like, he did Ash, by the way. Wait, against Coventry? Bruh, I'm gonna check that because that sounds fake as hell. Because he came in the second half. And by the way, even if it's true, I promise it won't change anything about it. Because I actually remember him coming on. I remember the watch along. I was so frustrated with him multiple times. And I was just like, bro, let's just leave it. Um because like it was such a downgrade from like seeing Saka play. Where is it? Oh, this doesn't give me chances created. It just tells me key passes. Oh, he gave 4 key passes. Um, I don't know if that's the highest or not, but 4 key passes is quite decent. Um, Look, I'll take your word for it. Then I guess Hooks and Akash. But I don't like honestly. He's definitely someone we need to get rid of. Unfortunately, it doesn't seem like we're gonna get rid of him anytime soon. But yeah, as I said, amazing start for Arsenal. Um, Amazing start for Arsenal, and obviously, really nice to see how Zolis played. I am a believer, as I said. I know people say it's just Coventry. Yes, trust me, I'm not someone who just jumps on a train like that. I'm not a flip flop. I don't overreact, which is why even in preseason when he was killing it, I said, nah, I still want to wait. But I do like what I'm seeing so far. But the reason why I am changing my mind after Coventry, because even against Coventry, I didn't expect him to play that way because we've seen like Trossard, Martinelli play against similar opponents and slow down the game, not have that kind of directness. And the stuff he did against Coventry is something he probably will do against every other team, which is run with the ball forward, try to get past his man, try to put a first time cross. Um, he'll probably get more spaces as well against certain teams that will attack us a lot more, like Villa next week, probably like Chelsea the week after. So yeah, I loved what I saw, and long may it continue. And I'll even say it. I'll even say this, right? His performance made me even think that because we need a left winger and a striker, in my opinion. His performance even made me think, let's park the left winger for now, just for now, and focus on getting the striker. Because for me, that is still a massive problem area because we don't have anyone good there. Like I think Moreno is our best striker, but obviously, first of all, Arteta is not going to start him week in week out ahead of Havertz and Gyökeres. Um, and even Moreno, who's like an incredible finisher, is still not the solution, anyways, up top. Um, so I do want us to prioritize a striker, and maybe for this season we can survive with Zolis. As I said, survive, but it's not bad options. Zolis, Eza, and Martinelli as the third winger, or if Martinelli leaves and we get someone else like that Matias Fernandez Prado that we've been linked with today. I'll talk about him in a bit as well. Um, but yeah, for me, priority has to be striker because I just don't think we have good enough strikers in this team, unfortunately. Um, I'll just read because I don't want to spend a lot of time on Arsenal. I will just touch on the Matias Fernandez part. Matias Fernandez Prado, or Fernandez Prado, I'm going to call him that since there is already a Matias Fernandez in Spurs. Um, Madueke created the most touchdowns in the Prem. Shot me NFL. I can give a discount. Yeah. Bro, Fugazi chances created. Yeah, honestly, I don't remember anything that was that great. I do remember him having a couple of moments where he did keep the ball well, and I even said in my watch along, good job, Madueke. But there were other couple of times when he made stupid mistakes and lost the ball silly, and I was like, bruh, like Saka didn't do any of that in the first half. But anyways, for me, it doesn't matter. Even if he had an incredible game, like Madueke has had so many years of stink and shit that it'll take a whole season of incredible performances for him to overturn that opinion. Chances created is just a pass resulting in a shot. Yeah, I mean, this is why I look at big chances created. For me, that's more important because a big chance created is actually the more difficult thing. Like a chance created, as you said, Ilias, could literally be you passed the ball to someone, they took a shot, that's a chance created. Versus a big chance created means you've actually put them in a situation where they have a decent chance to score. Gonzalez is in bruise right now, by the way. Oh, I wonder why. Um, yeah, I guess the players probably get 1 or 2 days to themselves before they're back to training, maybe by like Tuesday or so. And our game, anyways, is what, next week? Saturday? Is it Saturday or Sunday? Um, Let me check. I think it's next week, Saturday. I could be wrong. Arsenal. It's Monday, in fact. So we do have a long break then. Monday night. Damn. Declan passing through lines, that was sublime, honestly. Anyone who's like brain dead to think that this guy is not a elite footballer, who's world class, who can do these things, is just lying to themselves. He is a world class midfielder without a question. I criticized them for not doing these passes last season because I knew he has it in him. We've seen him do amazing passes before, and anyone who can give you that kind of level quality set piece can also give good through balls, but or is most likely going to be able to give very good through balls. But it was, for me, the system that prevented him from doing so, or discouraged him from doing so. And it's great to see that he is doing it now. So obviously, big credit to Arteta for releasing the shackles. Coventry isn't miles away from Prem level. Honestly, I anyways predicted them to stay in my predictions when I was doing the season predictions. Who did I have going down? I had Palace, Ipswich, and Hull City going down. And that was before I watched them play. I definitely think they will stay because, yeah, I know we beat them 3-0, but don't forget, we're the best team in the country, one of the best teams in Europe, top 2, top 3 probably. So it's not a shame to lose away to the champions 3-0. But they have some players that look really, really dangerous, like the Sims striker of theirs, Thomas Asante, the Chaona, the left winger, Onyeka, the midfielder, and even Irenke, that guy. They were honestly really good. Grimes seemed decent. So definitely a team to watch out for this season. Bro Ash, with wingers, you see it instantly a lot of times. Yeah, exactly. About the chances created, I think you were referring to. But Ash, looks like we're selling Martinelli. Almost certainly we need a left winger. Okay, since you brought it up, I'll just touch on this and then I'll move on to the other teams. We have been linked with Fernandes Prado. I saw that today, who plays for Lille, 21-year-old winger. And I'll tell you guys this, because I have watched him a couple of times. And then I did some scouting on him now to see, because I don't watch him. I didn't watch Liga that much last season. I did watch a few snippets here and there, especially PSG games. Look, if we let go of Martinelli, I have no issues getting him. I think that's not a bad signing, right? In the sense that we're replacing a speedy winger who, okay, I'm going to be respectful and not call him brain dead. I'm just going to say a speedy winger who just doesn't perform in the final third anymore, with another speedy winger who's young and has potential like Martinelli had when he was 21, because this guy's 21, Fernandes Prado. And Martinelli at 21 also had that kind of potential. Remember, Martinelli at 21 had that 22 that in the 2022-23 season, he had an amazing performance, 15 goals, 6 assists, dribbles and finishing and runs and all that stuff. And obviously that died off. I have no issue with replacing Martinelli with Pardo. Sorry, I don't know why I'm calling him Prado, like he's a freaking Toyota. With Fernandes Pardo. Because then we still keep pace in the team. We still have that blinding pace because this guy is rapid. I read a stat today that his top speed is like 38.5 kilometers an hour or something, which is absolutely mental. He is rapid. I can guarantee that. So yeah, we're replacing Martinelli with another speed demon. But hopefully, unlike Martinelli, he does develop his potential and goes on to become a top quality winger. He can obviously compete with Zolis in that position. Maybe we can even play him a bit up top sometimes if needed. I don't know, but I have no issues with that. But as things stand right now, so I'll happily pay for the potential, right? And if we lose Martinelli, we need a backup left winger anyways, and ideally someone with pace, because we don't want to have no pace in the team. And the thing is, I'm okay to pay for the potential, but I'm just giving my honest assessment. If I had to compare him right now, as he is right now, with Martinelli today, he's not better than Martinelli today. But as I said, because he's got potential, because he's 21, I'm okay to sit and wait and say, you know what, he could hopefully turn out to not be like Martinelli and actually reach his potential. Because he's got pace, he can dribble and all that stuff, but he's not a better dribbler than Martinelli, even though he can dribble. He doesn't create a lot of chances. I actually went and checked the stats, by the way, for his take-ons last season in the league, which where you have more spaces, by the way, and I compared it with Martinelli in the Premier League last season. And Martinelli not only completes more take-ons per game, he completes 1.7 to Pardo's 1.4. He also has a higher take-on success rate of 55% to Pardo's 44%. So Martinelli is a better dribbler statistically and factually than Pardo. And even if I look at his previous season was okay. It's a bit better, 1.7, but his take on success is still way lower. It's like 43.4%. So he completes less than half the dribbles he attempts, right? And the numbers are not even that high. It's not like it's 2.5 or 3 dribbles a game or 4 dribbles a game. And he doesn't even score a lot of goals. That's the annoying part as well. So as things stand right now, like how many goals did he have last season? I think he had like 13 J overall. Yeah, he had 8 goals and how many assists? And 5 assists, 13 J in like 29 games. I'm sorry, that's not good enough, especially playing in the league. And he played 2,379 minutes, so it isn't like something crazy. That's what 2,379 divided by 29 games that he played. That's like 61 minutes a game, right? So that's like starting majority of the matches. So yeah, for me, that's just it's not that exciting. But as a backup, 100%, I would take him right now and lose Martinelli, because Martinelli, I think, halas, we've tried. It's been 4 years, and he's just not showed up in these last 4 years. So it's definitely time to move on. 23, 24, 24, 25, 25, 26. Sorry, 3 seasons. My bad. It's been 3 seasons of poor subpar performances. That, in my opinion, just move on now and cut your losses. You have Jolis, you have Eze who can play there, and now you're getting this guy as well. So yeah. But anyways, let me know your thoughts. That's what I think. I just want to read some of your comments to see what you guys think. Slow decision making, absolutely, Howder. Yes, 100%. Last season, I don't think we had a single Friday night game, and our only Monday night game was the Burnley one. They just gave us both in the first 2 games. Yeah, crazy. Crazy. But hey, listen, we're the champions. They probably wanted like separate focus on the champions. How does a waste man with 2K subs not be monetized yet? Honestly, Hyper, because I don't do a lot of videos. So a lot of the subscribers that I got were because Mo and Hussam at the time, when I was doing the weekly shows with them, kept sending people to my channel and saying subscribe. This is when I first started. That's when I changed the name. You guys, those who have been there long enough, remember what my old channel's name is. And yeah, since then I've only done like I do an average of like 1 stream a month, right? So to be monetized, you have to have 3,000 watch hours in the last 365 days. And I've never ever, every time I come close to hitting that, I stop like doing it for so long. But I will be a bit more consistent now, and hopefully, if I continue at this pace, I think in a month or 2 I'll hit that quota. And then we'll continue. But yeah, I'm glad the subscribers didn't leave, because genuinely at this point I thought, you know what, these guys will get so bored. Like, bro, we subscribed to this guy like 2 years ago and he's barely even released any videos. So hey, I think about Martinelli 22, 23 at least once a week, a true juggler. I don't know what happened. Yeah, honestly, that he was phenomenal that season. He was incredible, not just because he was scoring and assisting, he was also doing like he was also dribbling and creating chances and wreaking havoc on defenses. But yeah, he just unfortunately could not continue with his potential. And look, you know how I blame Arteta for a lot of things when it comes to the attacking football over the last few years. This is not an Arteta, in my opinion, because for me personally, this is 100% on him, on Martinelli himself, because Trossard's dribbling didn't die off, Saka's dribbling didn't die off. So for me, Martinelli's performances are on Martinelli, like 100%, and I see it on the pitch as well. I actually think Martinelli would have a better season with players like Bruno G and MLS, seeing more of the pitch, getting the ball to him faster. Fairs. I agree, but I still don't think that would justify keeping him, in my opinion, because he's stunk it up so many times to a point where I think, yeah, it's definitely time to move on. We do have someone here. I'm gonna bring them on now, but before that, let me just quickly read this. So you're saying you're the Martinelli of YouTube, talented but inconsistent. Yeah, JT. I think I'm more talented than Martinelli. I'm not gonna lie. Nah, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Big up to Mr. Wait, let me bring him up. What the hell's going on? Mr. TKA. How you doing, my bro?
Yo, big up, bro. How you been?
Wait, I don't even know why I don't have my headphones on. Yeah, there you go. I can hear you now.
Yeah.
How you doing, man?
Alhamdulillah, bro. You know what I'm saying? Just got home, saw you were live, so I was like, you know what? Let me stop by, just have give my 2 cents about this week because this has been a very crazy week, bro. If you ask me, when it comes to football, you know what I'm saying?
Excellent week for Arsenal. Excellent week for Arsenal.
Yes, a very, very confidence giving. Is that the right way to say it? The confidence giving week.
Yes,
You know what I'm saying?
absolutely. It is a confidence given week. And before you continue, I just love Hyper's last comment because they were shitting on me for not being consistent enough, which is absolutely fair. I completely agree with them. It's like another inconsistent YouTuber. Man, like, know what I'm saying?
Hey, man. This is what it is.
Big up Hyper, bro. Big up Hyper. That was amazing, honestly.
Yeah, big up Hyper. Big up
Big up
the
Hyper.
other guys in chat as well.
Big up.
You know what I'm saying? Bro, listen. It's been a great week, bro, when it comes to football. I just think City have been very lucky. Very, very lucky. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what your current topic is and what you're talking about right now, but bro,
Yeah, I'm wrapping up on Arsenal, so maybe you can just give me your thought on the Arsenal game quickly, and then we'll move on to Man United and Hull
oh,
City.
it was a great game. You know what I'm saying? I have literally nothing to say about that game outside of um, Solis. You know what I'm saying? Proving you and me wrong specifically.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
absolutely.
Starting off running, even though he didn't get GA, he was for me the best player on the pitch still. You know, or if not one of the best players on the pitch. It just didn't show in his GA, but doesn't matter because that's why sometimes you look at players and say, "Hey, you don't need GA to have a great performance," like
Yeah.
Ahmed always says. You know what I'm saying? So, and this was one of those games. I feel like the fact that he didn't get GA is I was sad for him because he deserved it. He was having that great of a performance. Saka still looks a little bit sluggish, but he's getting back into speed, getting back into form. You know what I'm saying? It's great to have him on the right wing instead of Madueke. Like I said at the Korapot, bro, we don't need to worry about the midfield when it comes to Bruno Guimaraes being injured. Our midfield performed great. You know what I'm saying? Rice looked well rested, didn't use a lot of energy, if you ask me, when it comes to running and stuff. He was pretty chill because it was a pretty chill game overall for us. Mosquera looked solid, and Gabriel looked solid. Even though Gabriel made that one tackle and got the yellow card, which was not needed, but still, he had a great game overall. Outside of that, bro, I have literally nothing more to say about these players outside of the fact that it's been a great game. I just want to say that Havertz scammed the goal once again, even though it was a great finish. But outside of that, I didn't feel like he had a great performance. You know,
Yeah, I agree.
I feel like Havertz gets away with a lot when it comes to the fan base because he gets a goal here and there, and he sometimes looks good on the link up. But outside of that, you didn't really sense his presence on the pitch, if you ask me. You know what I'm saying? And I felt like that was missing from him, but that's to do with his pace because he's a very slow player. But by the time he's at you, you already passed the ball like 3 seconds ago. You know what I'm saying? So you didn't really feel Havertz's presence at striker. You know what I'm saying? Like you normally do with Gyökeres when he wrestles those players. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, outside of that, I feel like it was all positive. Great start. The team is ready. The team looks way more ready than the other teams. That's for sure. You know, we just need to go to Villa Park and do our thing. You know what I'm saying? Get this win streak early while the other teams are still figuring it out and create a lead early on. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm looking at right now.
Yeah, I agree. And the way Villa have been bent over today, I feel like it'll suddenly make our game next week a lot easier. So yeah, pretty nice to see. I didn't predict that, to be fair. I didn't think it'll be 4-0, but I was so glad to see that. So Hopefully, we'll see a nice slapping next week. But nice. On to the next game. Oh, how I wish I could have someone like Touchline on my channel, just to ask him a few questions. But as JT said, it's such a nice holiday. I love tigers. I've always loved tigers as animals. I think tigers are like so majestic and lovely and beautiful, and they just know how to rip you apart when you cross the line, or when you think you're bigger than what you actually are. And that's exactly what Hull City did to Man United, right? Challengers, apparently the team that was going to challenge Arsenal, the team that some people had winning as the winners of this current Premier League season. The team with apparently the best player in the league in Bruno Fernandes, the team with a solid defense, with apparently, this is the funniest thing I heard from United fans, the best attack in the league. The best attack in the league. I was like, bruh. And they got mauled by the Tigers, by Hull City. Now, of course, in terms of actual football and play and possession and stuff, yes, I get it. United were obviously all over them. They had more possession. But look, Hull City did what they needed to do, right? They didn't have that much possession, which they were never supposed to have, and I don't think anyone expected them to have. They took advantage of the set pieces. Clearly a big weakness still of Man United, even from last season. Got their 2 goals. And hey, listen, that fairy tale. I'm not being reactionary here. I'm not going to say, oh, they're in the mud, they're going to be shit this season. I don't know. Maybe not. But this is why I said in the summer, United fans need to hold their horses and calm down and wait, because anyone who says Carrick's job last season was just a fluke and he definitely is a shit manager, you're just saying it out of your ass because you don't know for sure. But at the same time, anyone saying, oh, he's a great coach, look what he did, is also speaking out of their ass, because the reality is he came into a team. I said this, and I know United fans don't want to agree or don't want to hear this. He didn't come into that kind of pressure. He came into a club that was already deep into the mud. All he had to do was use his United legendary status as a player to try and rally up the players, motivate them, get them out of that headspace, and just getting them to enjoy their football again. Because their team isn't bad. It's not challenge level, but it isn't bad. And that's what he did. They started performing. They had a good run, obviously, till the end of the season. The best run, in fact, statistically. And they finished 3rd, fair. But now is the actual season that will determine if they're good enough or not. Because now you're not playing as underdogs anymore. Last season, you were underdogs. Now you're no longer underdogs. Now your own fan base puts so much pressure on you that they have put you in this pedestal where, oh, we're going to challenge. Some of them said they're going to win the league. So let's ignore those, because those are just idiots, obviously. But even the ones that said, oh, we're going to challenge for the league and we'll come second and we'll be very close and blah, blah, blah. Those guys are also putting unnecessary pressure because they don't realize where their club is. If Arsenal are here, you are below the frame. I can't even show you where I'm showing United. And for you to try and put yourself in that kind of picture, Hull City humbled them, and they haven't even played Champions League games yet, where that's actually going to be a lot more difficult because they're going to be playing at least 3 or 4 difficult games there. So yeah, it was a very, very interesting game. I'm actually going to bring up the stats to show everyone as a beautiful reminder, just of the lovely performance we saw from United. Sorry, I don't know why I said it that way, but I saw some people typing it in the chat.
Man
United. Man United. Give it gigs till the end of the season.
Bro, I wanted to say as well, big up Acun Ilıcalı, the owner of Hull City. You know what I'm saying? He's a Turkish talk show host. So there you go. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And he was the co-chairman at Fenerbahce as well last year or the year before. So he knows his football, but you don't expect him to clean sheet United, something like this.
Yeah,
it's actually crazy.
Look at this, bro. Like they conceded the most big chances. Imagine, for all that possession, 4 shots on target, 8 overall. Obviously, they were better in most stats, which is fine, except big chances, which just tells you everything you need to know. Like, where was their world class creator? You know, I said this in the summer as well. Look, Bruno is top quality. I don't even think it's crazy to call him world class, but in my opinion, he's not the best 10 in the world. I'll say this. I actually think, look, even though he deserved the record last season, I mean, I say he deserved the record, but his last assist to break the record was an own goal, which is crazy, and they still gave it to him. But it is what it is. Um, I actually think Shirky is better than him because I think Shirky can create as good as Bruno, like, but he's also a better dribbler. I think he can also like score. Bruno Fernandes is an amazing strike of the ball. And look, I don't hate on Bruno. I've said he's been subject of crazy criticism from United fans for many years. But yeah, I mean, they have the best creator, and he couldn't even create those many chances. And yeah, look, I don't think they're in trouble. But I do think that, obviously they've been overhyped like crazy. I'm just trying to see the next game. The next game is Ipswich, which I think they'll easily win. It's at home.
Yeah.
I see them struggling against Everton away. I see them struggling even if it's at home against City, and then we'll see what happens afterwards. But give me your thoughts, Steve. What did you think of the United performance?
I mean, big up the set pieces because we already knew that this was the biggest weakness of United, and even United fans can say this to you, that they just don't know how to defend set pieces, which is crazy considering they have Maguire, who is pretty decent in the air. You know what I'm saying? So he just isn't reactionary enough, and he just doesn't. He has no brains in that slap. You know what I'm saying? That's what basically is going on with Maguire. But no, bro. I felt like Carrick made some unnecessary changes. For example, he changed Mbeumo from the striker position to the wing, and he put Cunha there, which was not needed. I felt like he could have started the way he started in preseason, which they looked decent with Mbeumo up top. I don't understand why they don't play Sesko for all this hype about this guy and this. Oh, he looks buff now. He looks big. Blah blah blah. You know what I'm saying? They're still yet to play him. You know what I'm saying? They didn't even bring him on in the second half. They brought Rashford on instead of him, which is crazy to me. You know what I'm saying? And Rashford looked decent, if you ask me, for United. But bro, at the end of the day, for me, if you look at United, I said this at the Cora pot, and I'll say it again. They do not have legs in the midfield. Yeah, and we saw with Tielemans and with Andre Santos, which are both attacking minded first. Yeah. Rather than defensive minded, especially Tielemans, who runs like a 60-year-old at his age. You know what I'm saying? He's one of those guys. This game just exposed their midfield. They had no legs in midfield. If you look at the battles that they had, Hull City just won most of the battles because they were just up for it more. They were just more energetic. And like I said, they have the legs in midfield. And also that McBurney guy, the striker that they have, bro. What a player, bro. He was cooking this game.
He used to play in Sheffield or something before, I remember.
I think so, yeah. But he was also playing in abroad somewhere, like a random country. And Arjun Ilujalu was like, is this guy available? Okay, we're going to buy him straight away because he scouted him before and he already knew he was good when nobody wanted him at some point. You know what I'm saying? So it was like, oh, if you don't want him, we'll take him at all. You know what I'm saying? And they got him. And wallahi, bro, he was one of the reasons why they got where they got last year in the first place and promoted. You know what I'm saying? And this game just showed he's actually a quality striker. You know what I'm saying? Very good on the ball, strong as well. Maybe he didn't score a goal, but he did everything else. You know what I'm saying? So, big up Ilyas, bro. Big up.
Big up Ilyas,
bro. Hull, bro. You know what I'm saying? I have them relegating, obviously, but they showed this game that they are not one to mess with. You know what I'm saying? They are here to fight at home. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes these promoted teams, when they play at home, they just have that extra lung, you know what I'm saying? That extra energy source and know how to fight. And they showed the fight this game, bro. And for me, they performed exactly how they needed to perform. Scored 2 clean goals and khalas, you know what I'm saying? Defend the whole way, which is what they did. And they did it amazingly. You know what I'm saying? United did not have a sniff. I felt like Hull deserved it thoroughly because normally sometimes when you're ahead as the lower team, you defend 24/7, and sometimes they say, "Oh, but the other team deserved it because they had 80% possession, 20 shots, 10 on target, blah, blah. And they just had one shot, one goal. You know what I'm saying? In this game, I felt like Hull deserved the whole win because they just performed better than United in this game. And United, they are just far from ready and they need legs in the midfield. They have Baleba now, but you and I both know Ashraf. How fit is he going to stay? And he is the only player with legs in midfield. So if he doesn't play, there comes a situation where you get the same weakness that we've seen in this game if you play Andre Santos and Tielemans together. You know what I'm saying?
I'm just checking. It says he'll be back by mid to late September. So they won't even have him until after the international break.
Yes, which is also a problem. Because if you play with this current midfield, bro, the defensive part and the running part, you know what Declan Rice does in your team? They don't have that at all. And that's going to hurt them very, very much. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Wait, the international break is not until the end of September. Okay. And it's 3 weeks, by the way, because so they basically United play next week, Sunday, August 30. Then they play September 6th, which is a week later, and then September 13 a week later, then September 20 a week later after that, and then they play they play October 10, sorry, which is 20 days later or more than 20 days. Yeah, 20 days later. So that is basically a 3 weeks break. It's just mental. So yeah, look, I hear you. We are going to be doing, guys, another prediction stream, obviously at the end of the transfer window, the Kura Pod. But I can give you guys a quick spoiler. I might actually look. I had United finishing fourth, so I might not change that. To be fair, but right now I'm quite happy with where I put them. I'm just glad I didn't put them second or challenging for the league or any of that nonsense that some people were saying, which is just.
Yeah,
in my opinion.
I need to reconsider mine heavily.
Why? Where did you put them?
I had them like third or something.
You had them third. Yeah, but third is still better than second. Like, I just find it crazy people said they will challenge and they'll be close and stuff. Like, I don't think they're better placed than Chelsea, than City. So yeah, we'll have to wait and see. And look, even Liverpool today, I guess we'll discuss. You know what? We could go to Liverpool right now, to be fair, before we discuss City and Spurs. I think Liverpool didn't play that bad today. Honestly, I'm not gonna lie, because to go to Newcastle away, yes, they've lost a lot of players. Fair enough, they're not the same Newcastle, but they do have a new manager in Yasle who's obviously won, I think, back-to-back Champions Leagues with Al Ahly, the Asian Champions League. That is
great coach, by the way. I really, really like him as a coach.
100%. He's got a very, very good reputation, and I think Newcastle played decent today, but I think Liverpool were able to match them. I did think the performance was good. I did think they deserved the draw in the end. I was a bit annoyed because I predicted 2-1 Newcastle, so I had it spot on the money, and then freaking stupid Lewis Hall. I hope he goes to United. He deserves to go there. He obviously gave away that silly penalty, and Szoboszlai ended up scoring the equalizer. Look, I think Liverpool. For me, this is what's frustrating. If I was a Liverpool fan, I'd be so annoyed because they actually don't have that bad of a team. I've always said their midfield is actually decent. I know people are shitting on it for some reason, but I like a midfield of Gravenberch, Szoboszlai, McAllister, Florian Wirtz, even though he had a stinker today. And I think Gakpo, they should not lose Gakpo, in my opinion. I think he is a good left winger for them. Munoz came off the bench and actually had some impact. In fact, won the penalty. The reason why I would be frustrated if I was a Liverpool fan is because I think they only need two signings I don't think two signings to win the league, but they just need two signings to at least challenge and put some pressure. And the fact that their board has been dilly-dallying for so long on different players and also, in my opinion, chasing the wrong players. Because why are you going after a Barcola when you don't need a left winger? You need a right winger. You're freaking playing Rio and Gomoa and Munoz there on the right, when neither of them is right winger. Both are left wingers. It's just stupid, in my opinion. They obviously have a very good striker in Isak, who was considered world-class up until a year ago, and obviously he had the season he had. But yeah, look, Gravenberch obviously was at fault, I think, for both goals, especially the second goal. That was a silly back heel he gave. Really good goals, obviously, from Newcastle. Amazing counter-attack for the first one. Osula, guys, remember he's gonna be quite a baller, man. I think Osula is gonna be a top quality striker. I don't know how old he is. If it turns out he's like 23 or 24, then I'm in the mud for that. But if he's not that old, yeah, he's 23, so that's a very good age for a striker. I think he has the potential to be like a top quality striker who could be faced by big teams in the next 2 years. But he has to make sure he performs at a good level. Now that there's no Isak, no Gordon, I think it's going to be him, the main attacker. And if he manages to score like 15 to 20 Premier League goals and then adds another 5, 6 assists, 7 assists to it, I think eventually he'll get looked at by big clubs and maybe he'll get a move. But yeah, very good counter attack for the first goal. Amazing second goal by Willock, obviously, who did really well to beat Allison from outside the box. But Liverpool obviously did well to score. Amazing goal by Gakpo. Look, I know Liverpool fans don't like him. I don't understand why they want to get rid of him. I don't know if you can enlighten me on that, T, but I just find it crazy that they dislike him so much, as if they have better wingers already.
The thing is, he's very basic. You know what I'm saying? And what he tries is very basic. He just cuts to the right to his stronger foot and tries to shoot or tries to cross. You know what I'm saying? And he can be frustrating at times when he tries that over and over and it doesn't work and he's just too slow against his defender. You know what I'm saying? But he keeps trying it and he fails, and it just can be frustrating at points because the thing is, in the Dutch team we play him at striker most of the time, but sometimes we do play him at left wing. And he thinks he's Robin. You know what I'm saying? But he's not. So it's
I mean,
yeah.
he is your best attacker, though. I'm not gonna lie. He had an amazing World Cup.
I mean, yeah,
Yeah,
but the bar is low right now with Memphis Depay and them, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I'm Brobby and shit.
Yeah, bro.
When you're celebrating Brobby coming onto the pitch, then you know, like, yeah, the Dutch team is gone,
and bro, I was over the moon when Brobby came on every time, bro. I was like, yes, finally a striker, bro. But because I hate them Memphis Depay, especially now.
Yeah.
But anyway, back to the point. Right now, yeah, Gakpo. I don't even blame Gakpo for this game. I feel like the midfield let them down. I felt like Gravenberch, like you said, he made those mistakes and he cost them those games. I think, and Hussam said it as well in his watch along, and I agree with him. This was not a game lost on tactics. This was a game lost on individual quality. You know what I'm saying? Liverpool just made mistakes, and some of those players like Gravenberch, he was one of the driving forces and one of the reasons why Liverpool played that well when they won the league 2 years ago. You know what I'm saying? And we haven't seen that Gravenberch for a while now. And today he made 2 mistakes. If one of your key players makes those 2 mistakes and you concede 2 goals, yeah, what do you expect from this game? You know what I'm saying? It's one of them. So and I do believe that Liverpool needed a midfielder. I felt like the current holding midfield area that they have right now is just very weak. Because if Gravenberch gets injured, who do you play? Nioni? Who do you play? You know what I'm saying? I don't even know who they replace him with, for example. I also said to Hussam, bro, you needed Bruno Guimaraes more than us. You know what I'm saying? But you didn't go for him. You weren't interested at all. And he ended up at Arsenal. But if they, for example,
do you think they needed a Bruno Guimaraes or did they need a DM? Because I feel they needed someone like a Zubamendi more.
Yeah, you can say both, because I do believe that, for example, in a Liverpool system within Andoni Iraola, if you have someone like Bruno Guimaraes who's very strong and physical in the 6, but also very offensive minded, that can help their system. You know what I'm saying? But yes, I do agree that Mendy would fit there as like a glove as well. They are just missing a 6. They are just missing midfielders. At this moment in time, Liverpool are missing numbers. You know what I'm saying? It's a very, very weak team. You know those NBA teams, Ashraf, where they have an amazing 5, but when they start putting on their bench, they go behind like 10 points.
The worst thing, exactly.
Yeah, it's like that. Liverpool have that type of situation, and they just need numbers. But some positives, though, is Munoz. I do believe that Munoz came on and performed pretty decent. He did very well for that penalty when he got that penalty for them.
Yeah.
So some positive signs there. I do believe that Wirtz and Isak, bro, they are getting away with murder right now, because I've seen in our history of football, Ashraf, the Pogbas of the world, the whoever's of the world, going for 100 plus to clubs and getting slated for having one bad game, let alone having a whole season being shit. You know what I'm
Mm,
saying?
yeah,
And I do believe that now that Salah is gone, Isak and Wirtz need to step up because those are the two star players in this team. If they don't wake up and start performing for this team, then this whole Liverpool rebuild is looking shaky, in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? They are missing some players, but I do believe that these two players who are supposed to be the star players now need to show and earn their money. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
That's how I
yeah.
feel about this whole Liverpool situation. Because this Andoni Iraola system only works if Wirtz and Isak perform.
Correct.
That's how I
Yeah,
see it.
and I'll say this, like I'll hold my hand up. I was definitely wrong about Verts. Obviously, how they're saying Verts needs to get slandered like people do Havertz or Odegaard. Look, I think he already gets slandered. I think people are calling him, outside Liverpool fans, everyone is calling him a big flop of the Premier League, and I got it completely wrong because I've you guys know I used to be, I'm not anymore, but I used to be a Bundesliga fanatic. Because I used to get it on BN Sports, and before that, I've been watching the Bundesliga for the longest time, especially since they used to show it here in UAE for free back then. And I watched him in his last two seasons with Leverkusen. Before obviously he joined Liverpool, and I thought he's gonna come in and be. Initially they were linked with City, and I said, oh, he's gonna be a perfect KDB replacement because he's got the technical skills, the ability, the dribbling, the shooting, the passing, and for some reason it just seems like he couldn't handle it, right? It just seems like he couldn't handle the physicality and the pace of the Premier League. Even though he's a very intelligent player, so you would think he should have been able to adapt, but clearly he couldn't. And look, another thing is maybe he made the wrong move. That could also be another thing. Like, I think maybe in a team like Liverpool, that doesn't have the right physical players around him, maybe it just was not the right move for him. Like David Silva, he's similar to David Silva, but when David Silva came to City, he had like the big players around him, like Gareth Barry and Yaya Toure
Yeah.
and obviously Balotelli and Dzeko and Company and all these guys. Like, you look at Liverpool, all their midfielders and attackers are a bit lightweight. They also get soft quite easily. They also play this explosive, high dynamic football, which I don't think works for him.
You need
As
to ask
opposed,
this yourself, Ashraf. Sorry that I
Hmm.
cut you off, but ask
No,
this
no, no, go ahead.
yourself, yeah? Imagine we had Wirtz instead of Odegaard at the 10 with Rice and
I
Bruno
think he would have done
Guimaraes.
better for us. He would have done
Yeah.
better for us.
So you do believe that. So you do not believe that the Premier League is just too physical for him.
Yeah. Look, I don't get me wrong. He also should get accountability for not showing up 100%, regardless of the system and setup. Even if I put you in Coventry, I still expect some better performances. And he's had some games where he's looked good. He's had the right touches, the right runs. But I do think the system doesn't work for him either. I think it's a combination of both. If he was adaptable to the Premier League and at a world-class level, even in a shit system like that, he would have still clearly looked better than the rest, right? But I think because he's in a bad system and he couldn't adapt physically to the Premier League, I think both combinations have
Yeah.
made him look that bad. If he was at Arsenal, I don't think he would have been world class or top quality, but I think he would have been better than what he was at Liverpool. But I still don't think he would have been at that level where people could go like, "Oh wow, that's a 100 million player," and that's my issue with him, and that's what I say. I definitely got it wrong there. I'll
Mhm.
tell you this, bro. Maybe it's early because it's only one game in the new season, but I don't see any way for Verts to make it in this Liverpool team. And what I mean by that is they paid 16 million for him, or how much of it was, or 100 million plus 16 and add-ons. I don't think he's going to be worth even half of that. I think come end of the season, they're gonna look at him as as a cemented, verified flop in the Premier League, one of the biggest ones because of that price tag, and they will look to sell him in the
Yeah.
summer. In my opinion, he should leave. In the
So you're
summer.
basically using the same stat as you normally do for strikers, that when they don't perform in their first season, that they just flop overall in the Premier League. You're using the same logic in this case
Yeah,
with Wirtz.
yeah. Look, with Verts, it's different to the striker one because the striker one is facts. It's not just my opinion. It's a clear stat that shows any striker that comes in his first season, at least in the last 10 to 15 years, and flops in their first season. I'm talking about the whole season, not half a season. They don't make it after. They never recover. With Wirtz, it's more than that, because with Wirtz, I'm seeing the shit with my own eyes. I'm seeing that he's struggling to adapt to the physicality. I'm seeing that he's struggling to adapt to the speed, because in the Bundesliga sometimes he gets the ball in the final third and he has a bit more time to do something he wants to do. But in the Premier League, he gets the ball and clamp they're on him immediately, right? And he's not going to
Yeah.
get that kind of time and space. So, yeah, man.
I mean, a lot more running, bro. I mean, this is the most athletic league in the world for a reason. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah. In Spain they pass. In England they run. In you know what I'm saying? In Germany it's 50-50. You know what I'm saying? It's one of them, bro. And
Yeah, man.
someone said
100%.
this before. I heard them saying it, and I totally agree with it. When they said in Spain they pass, in England they run. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and there's a reason why England cannot compete against some of these teams, because the reality is it's the teams that know how to pass the ball well and move it well that end up doing a lot better. That's why English teams last season and the season before got slapped up by PSG, to be fair. Got like Barcelona dominates a lot of them, like majority of the years, Bayern as well. So, hey, it is what it is. We are obviously City broke that norm, because City also could play good attacking possession football under Pep Guardiola, but we'll see how they do now with Maresca. And speaking of City, narrow escape from the jaws of death this season, from this game, I mean, against Bournemouth. They were about to lose their first home game to Bournemouth in their history. 1-0 down from a first half goal. Beautiful goal by Bournemouth. Obviously, they're used to scoring very good goals. Beautiful goal by Tavernier from a nice a cross by Evanilson. Obviously, this is Bournemouth that don't have Krupi, that don't have obviously that lost Semenya last season in January. And they had some other players missing. I can't remember. I think Christie and some other
even
players
their
as well.
coach, Ireola, don't forget.
And obviously 100%, and then that's the most important one, Ireola. Look, they were doing quite well, but I think they sat back a bit too much, in my opinion, in the second half. I mean, they let City have too much control of the ball. And City obviously just kept knocking again and again and again, and managed to score from a set piece from a corner. I wonder if they like corners now, because they were shitting on it last season, obviously, for Arsenal. But yeah, Gahey with an amazing towering header. Ryan Shirky, obviously, the man who came and changed the whole game. I mean, the guy, I don't understand why he was on the bench. Like, the guy is not... The last game he played in the World Cup was more than a month ago. It was a month and a week ago, right? He was definitely fit and available to play. I mean, he came off the bench against Arsenal as well in the Community Shield. So he definitely could have started this game. For whatever reason, this guy started Phil Foden and kept Phil Foden for almost the whole game, if not the whole game, in fact. And yeah, Shirky came and showed levels. Obviously, a beautiful cross for the corner, and then a very nice through ball to Gvardiol for the winner. But look, I wasn't impressed with City. I'm not going to lie, because even though Bournemouth, I think, should have done a lot better in the second half, City didn't take advantage. They didn't really capitalize. Haaland missed 2 or 3 sitters that he should have scored, which was just mental. I don't know if it's the new short hair dry Haaland, or it's just the first game of the season. But usually he starts strong. That's the funny part. Usually his first game, he scores a goal or two. This is why I had him as captain in FPL, and he freaking stabbed me in the back, the son of a... Anyways. And yeah, they struggled, and I think they will still be our closest challengers. I still think they'll finish second. Obviously, they signed Boadi, who's gonna definitely bolster their midfield, but I don't think it closes the gap. But what do you think?
100 M's, by the way.
100 million euros is... Look, big up to my fellow Moroccan brother, but 100 million euros for a 19 or 18-year-old is an absolute joke, bro.
The most expensive joke. Moroccan of all time, bro. You know what I'm saying? He broke the record.
Isn't he the most expensive? Which teenager is more expensive than him? I'm trying to think.
A Moroccan?
No. In football, was there any teenager that went for a higher price?
Oh, was Bruno? No, not Bruno. Enzo Fernandez, was he a teenager when he went to Chelsea? No, right?
No, he was like 21.
Yeah, it was 21. Yeah. Okay, yeah, he could be. He could be, bro.
I'm googling it now. Most expensive.
He could be.
teenager in football history. Yeah. Let's see. No, never mind. Kylian Mbappe, who moved to PSG at 19, moved for 180 million euros.
Which is cheap, by the way, in today's market, bro.
That's
Anderson
for Kylian Mbappe. Yeah, for Kylian Mbappe, that was cheap. Now in hindsight, that is cheap, bro. If Kylian Mbappe, let's say he was to move this summer to any club, he would be minimum. Like 250 million. Not even 200, bro. 250 million minimum.
Yeah, bro. It was crazy, bro. He went for the same price as Anderson. Wallah, if you deep it,
no.
Actually crazy.
No, wait. Sorry, I think you misheard me. I didn't say 118. I said 180, 180.
Oh, 180. Oh, okay.
Yeah. He went for 180 million euros, bro, which is like 160 something pounds.
Bro, what a player. What I would do for Mbappe is actually mad, you know what I'm saying?
Bro.
But
I would honestly sell 4 attackers to get Mbappe. I'm not even joking.
Bro, I would only play with Mbappe. I would play like 6 midfielders. Only have Mbappe up front.
I don't mind that. Wallah, I don't mind that. You think about it, that actually will probably make us better in attack. 100%. I would forget Jesus, right? Because this is not even worth bringing up. I would let go of Havertz, Gyökeres, Martinelli, and Madueke to get Mbappe.
Not Saka?
No, obviously, and Saka too. But if I had to just choose 4, I would choose these 4. Even if you told me, hey, what about replacements for them? I'll say no problem. No need replacements. I will happily go into a season with Moreno as the backup striker, with Dauman as the backup winger, with Eze and Zolis on the left. It's fine. You know what? I'll work with that. If I have Mbappe up top, bruh, he'll score more goals than all these guys combined.
Wallahi, bro. Actually, bro, what I would do. But anyway, City.
Yeah.
Very uninspiring, to say the least. You know what I'm saying? When I watched them, I expected them to at least draw because they were peppering them. But like you said, Haaland was sitting missers. Missing sitters. Sitting missers. Bro, it's Sunday.
Someone clip that. That's a legend. Bro, I'm only going to use that.
I did a Saeed, bro. I'm
only going to use that moving forward. I'm going to say, bro, this guy is sitting missers, bro. Wow.
Sitting missers.
I'm only going to use that. Yo, guys, this is legendary. Thank you, T, bro.
Bro, it's Sunday, bro. Leave me alone, bro. You know what I'm saying? But City uninspiring. I do believe that Maresca has a lot of work in his hands because they don't have Pep anymore, bro. They are used to Pep and his brilliant brain. And if I watched the documentary, this guy says shit that you'd never think about. You know what I'm saying? Pep Guardiola. Yeah. And he doesn't care. He even brings his personal life in it just to prove a point to you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Maresca obviously is a way more calmer guy than someone like Pep, and it's very hard to inspire these players the same as Pep Guardiola does, you know what I'm saying? Especially the superstars like Haaland and those guys. Obviously, Haaland is a good guy, so obviously he will do his best to prove to Maresca that he understands what he's saying, but it's still going to be very different from Pep, you know what I'm saying? And this game showed it, because if you look at their 160 million signing, aka Anderson, he did something that I don't expect him to do in this game, and I don't want from him as a player. And that is, you cannot be 116 million and be just one of the guys. No, you need to at least take the game by the scruff of the neck and create something, bro. You know what I'm saying? Do something. You cannot be the recycler in midfield, bro, because that's the only thing he did in midfield, bro. He got the ball, passed it sideways. You know what I'm saying? He was just one of the guys. And for me, someone like Anderson, I know this is the first game, and we're going to see a way better Anderson in 10 weeks' time, obviously. But I do believe that this guy has a lot of pressure on his shoulders to perform, because he went for the same prices. He went for more money than Rice. And everybody was pressuring Rice to perform and Caicedo to perform. You know what I'm saying? The amount of pressure that Rice got when he joined Arsenal for that money, people said that we got scammed. You know what I'm saying? and that Rice is just a recycled merchant. He's just another wrecking ball. You know what I'm saying? Nah, bro. Rice elevated his game and started attacking way better than he normally did. You know what I'm saying? And complementing his defensive brilliance. You know what I'm saying? Anderson needs to level up as well. We cannot see the same Anderson as we saw at Nottingham Forest. Now that you're at City, you need to go one level up, bro. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes outshine the others in midfield. And for me, he was disappointing, bro. He was just one of the guys in midfield. So I do expect more from him. But the guy, the star guy, was Cherky at the end of the day. I agree with you when you say he should never be benched. This guy should play at all times, because that guy, I have him, and I think you have as well, Ashraf. We have him as the top assist guy in this season, right? You also.
Yes, correct. Yeah.
Yeah. You and I.
Oh, actually, three of us. Yeah, and Saad as well.
Yeah, and Saad. So we have him as the most assist, the player with the most assists. Yeah, for a reason, because this guy, bro, in 5 minutes he just changed the game like that, bro. Two amazing balls and khalas. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, it's one of them, bro. City was uninspiring. They nicked it at the end. Bournemouth did something that Iraola would never have done, which is sit back and just absorb pressure. Normally, if this was an Iraola Bournemouth team, they would punish them better in the counters. You know what I'm saying? I do believe that the counter-attacking from Bournemouth let them down in this game, but this is a whole new coach, so obviously, what do I expect? You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, like I said before 5 times, City was very uninspiring. And Ashraf, all I'm saying is, if we don't cruise this league this season, bro, I will be very, very, very annoyed. Very annoyed.
Look, it'll definitely be annoying, honestly, and yeah, we have to make sure we run away with it. Big up to JT, who says, "Can Maresca transform Anderson the way he did Rodri?"
Did he do Rodri?
I don't know if he's the one who helped improve Rodri, but look, Anderson doesn't have anywhere near the quality of Rodri. I thought Nico Gonzalez does. I thought Nico Gonzalez could be the new Rodri. Because he seemed quite similar in the way he plays, physicality is there, can control the ball well, can shoot and score. He's 24, product of La Masia of Barcelona. So you would think it's a no-brainer, like that he would be the next replacement. But for whatever reason, they ended up pushing him out, and now he's leaving, I think, to Newcastle or wherever he's going to go. So, which I think is a big mistake. Honestly, I find it ridiculous that they're letting him go. But yeah, he has to make Anderson work, like because Kovacic is obviously not it. Foden for me is also not it. I think Foden also is like that that young boy of theirs is gone. He's no longer the same player. They just need to move past him. They already upgraded on him tremendously with Shirky.
But I forgot about him as well, to mention him even. Bro, that guy was awful.
Bro, like, and the
it's
funny
safe
thing
to say
is
that he's washed. It's
yeah, 100%. I think he's washed. And now it's 2 seasons, more than 2 seasons now if you count these few games as well. And it's so funny seeing them bring on Jack Grealish as well off the bench. I was like, bruh, Jack Grealish in 2026 in the 26-27 season is just mental. But anyways, we'll see how it goes. That's it on City. I guess just last 2 things to discuss. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on Spurs, guys. Spurs are a joke. I don't think anyone in their right mind thought they would be somewhere there up top where they could compete and challenge or even finish top 4.
Yeah, bro, all those signings and that lineup was the most disgusting lineup I've ever seen, I think.
Here's the thing, and here's where I'll give them some benefit of the doubt. Some. Even though I think it's still embarrassing to lose 3-0 no matter who you played. But when I looked at that lineup before the game, I was like, bro, I wish I could change my prediction because I think Brentford will win comfortably. Not 3-0. I thought maybe like 2-0 or something like that, or maybe 2-1, but they're the much better team. Because that lineup, outside Tonali, it didn't seem that like an improvement from last season. Look, Van Hecke is a decent defender, but he has the most errors leading to goal last season. So they replaced a Bozo and Romero with another Bozo and Van Hecke.
No way. Is that true?
100%, it's true. It's insane. They ended up getting a Bozo defender from last season right? Van de Ven, who's their only decent defender, was not there. Pedro Porro, their decent right back, was not there. They let go of Jet Spence, who was a fantastic right back for them. They were playing Mikey Moore, and Archie Gray was their captain in that game, which is just idiotic. Their midfield, I don't know why Matheus Fernandes was on the bench, and that front three was so disgusting. I don't know how they thought they could score or be a threat with that front line. And in the end, Brentford were the deserved winners. We are obviously going to see a new look very, very soon because they will probably get Marmoush done over the line. They have obviously got Savio already. They are obviously pushing to get Gakpo, which seems like it might happen. But even if it doesn't happen, a front three of Solanke, Savio, and Marmoush is definitely going to look a lot different. And then they'll have Kudus returning. So I do think they'll get better and they will finish in the top 6. But yeah, that Brentford game was embarrassing.
I think if that's the case, then they will start Tel at left wing and play Marmoush at striker. I
don't think they'll keep. Maybe I don't think they'll keep play. I don't think they'll keep playing Tel because if they play more, but then what if they get Gakpo? Then Gakpo goes left, obviously. Right?
Yeah. If they get Gakpo, then he plays left, and Savinho plays right, and Marmoush plays striker. That will be the main front three then.
Yeah, I hear you. I
don't think Solanke starts over Marmoush, bro, because that's the new toy and they want to try it out. And if he starts blowing up and scoring goals, then khalas, it's over for Solanke. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think plus the advantage of starting Marmoush and Gakpo is that they can interchange because Gakpo can get into the middle, Marmoush can go out wide. They can keep changing between each other, which I think is an advantage. So yeah, we'll see how it happens when they get it.
I mean, if Spurs can wake up Savinho and Marmoush and pick up their old form, like at Girona and at Frankfurt, then they have two decent players. But they have been sitting at at City's bench for a minute now, and they have been underperforming for a minute now. So if the Zerbi can wake them up, they have good players in their hands. But if they continue what they did at City, then bro, they've wasted 150 million then, because those two guys looked very bad at City.
Bro, I mean, one of them has 2 goals in 2 years. That tells you everything you need to know.
Yes, and went for 95, and we're selling Martinelli for 60.
Bro,
crazy.
Embarrassing. Look, I'll take it right now. I don't give a shit. I'll take it because beggars can be choosers. If we can get rid of Martinelli for 60, 65 and get that Fernandes Pardo guy, I'm okay with it. It's fine as long as we get some money.
Also a baller, by the way.
Yeah, I spoke about him earlier, by the way. He doesn't seem... Honestly, I'll give you my thoughts again. And I think we'll probably talk about him on Friday in the Kura Pod. But today, if I had to compare him and Martinelli today, he's not better than Martinelli. But he does have potential. He's 21. So unlike Martinelli, maybe he will reach his potential. Because Martinelli at 21 was amazing, right? In the 22-23 season. But he just could not live it up. And maybe this guy will live it up. So, and right now we need a change. Because we need to freaking
new faces and stuff. Yeah, freshen up the attack, bro. Yeah,
100%. And no, JT, honestly, I don't rate Marmoush. I rated him at Frankfurt, but I think he can only play in a 2-striker system, like in a 4-4-2, where he's a second striker. I think any other system where he's the lone striker or left winger or a 10, I think he's very average. He's only got pace and he doesn't really use his pace well. So we'll see what Spurs do. I don't think Spurs play a 4-4-2. So,
bro, I was ready to accept. I was ready to accept him at Galatasaray, bro, and he ended up at Spurs. You know what I'm saying? Okay, one more chance, bro. But after this, you join Galatasaray, bro. You know what I'm saying? No way else to go, motherfucker. You know what I'm saying?
Cool. I mean, that's it on Spurs. I'm not going to spend much time on Spurs. Quickly, how do you see the Chelsea-Fulham game going tomorrow? I know you predicted a Chelsea win. We both predicted a 2-0 win for Chelsea. After seeing everything that's happened in the other games, do you still think it'll be that comfortable for Chelsea, or do you think maybe Fulham could do a surprise?
This is the final Infinity Stone, Ashraf. If this stone also fucks up like the other teams, then this is smooth sailing for the champions to be a champions back to back. You know what I'm saying? But no, in all seriousness, Chelsea, I do believe they have a more solid foundation than someone like Liverpool, who's still missing some players. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Chelsea predominantly needed defenders and a goalkeeper. They didn't get the goalkeeper, but they did get Lacroix, which is a decent player. You know what I'm saying? Not the worst. Can't
Yeah, in a
sleep.
back five. In a back four, I don't think he's good.
Yeah. In the back five, yes, the Xabi Alonso way. We're going to see a whole new Chelsea. He does have some quality players under his hands, like Joao Pedro, like Estevao, and those guys. You know what I'm saying? It's just the way. Uh, I'm just wondering which Xabi Alonso are we going to get? Are we going to get the Leverkusen Xabi Alonso, or are we going to get the Real Madrid Xabi Alonso? Which it just doesn't translate into the team, because the one thing about Xabi Alonso and Real Madrid is that it just didn't translate into the team because some players felt like they were above him, like Mbappe, for example. You know what I'm saying? So how are these Chelsea players are going to react? Obviously, these Chelsea players are more young and more humble than someone like Mbappe. So they will listen to Xabi Alonso way earlier than someone like Mbappe, for example. But if that translates well into this Chelsea team, then this Chelsea team can be a force to reckon with in this season. You know what I'm saying? But we'll just have to see, because for me, I thought United was going to start well as well, but they ended up losing 2-0. You know what I'm saying? I expected Spurs to show more fight, but they ended up losing 3-0. You know what I'm saying? And I have the exact same thought about this Chelsea team, which is, okay, they're going to win this game. Let's just see how good they are. You know what I'm saying? But they can end up losing this game as well, for example. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. It's just, for me, it's just sit back and watch what happens type of situation. I do rate Xabi Alonso, though. If it translates well, then they will be a very good team. But if it doesn't translate well, and this whole 5 at the back system doesn't work that well in England, then it could be a sticky situation for Chelsea as well, like City. I don't think they're in the mud. I do believe that they are in a situation like City, where maybe you can add a few more players here and there, but the other parts of the team is still solid. But how is the tactics of your new coach going to translate into the team? That's the biggest question for me at Chelsea right now.
Okay, I guess we'll see how it goes. I mean, tomorrow will be a very, very interesting test, because it's an away game. Away games are obviously never easy in the Premier League. Fulham generally tend to do well against Chelsea as well, or at least give them a fight. It's obviously a West London derby, so we'll see how they go about it. I just saw a video of Julian Alvarez. I posted it on the group, actually, in the Good Lounge group. And bruh, Alvarez, the way he was treated today was just insane, bro. You will not believe it. Like, he was being booed by the fans. After the game, they stayed to clap for the players. He just walked off because they were just cursing his name. And while he was walking down the tunnel, they were all cursing at him. Someone threw a jersey at him. Like, he looked devastated. And the entire stadium was just cursing and booing him so loud. Bruh, honestly, when you see that, I'm like, there's no way he stays at the club anymore. I like, right now, it's that bad that I think he probably goes, like, he'll probably cry and beg the owner to let him go to Barcelona. And if that doesn't work out, I think he probably just goes like, just let me go anywhere. Because initially I was like, yeah, I think he might stay at Atletico one more year just so he could try for Barcelona again next season. But now I don't see it, bro. Now
would you take him at Arsenal still, knowing this?
Yeah. Look, honestly, the more I think about it, yeah, I don't want players that don't want Arsenal, blah, 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 fair. But I think he'll eventually get over it. If he comes to Arsenal, I think he'll get over it, and he will, especially if he starts winning trophies, because he also will want to win, right? And that's the reality. He's come from a team that's known for winning in Man City, and he's won a lot with them. And obviously, he's gone to an Atletico team that is not going to be winning anywhere near that level. So I would probably take him, but I would obviously put a 4 or 5 year contract and tell him very clearly, hey, if you're joining us, don't ask us to leave to Barcelona in like a year or 2 or 3. In 3 years, we can talk about it, but anything before 3 years, don't even mention it, please.
And I think that's the biggest hurdle.
Yeah, I hear you. But if he doesn't agree to that, then move on. Then don't sign him.
Yes.
But if he does agree to it, which I think he will, because he'll probably think, bro, if Barcelona's not going to happen, I might as well go there. And it is sad, I'm not going to lie, to see that he's not getting his dream move. But, bro, you made that mistake. You went and signed to Atletico. Why did you do that? You could have waited a year or 2 and then moved to Barcelona after, right? Or if you went to Atletico, don't sign a 6-year contract. Maybe sign a 4-year contract. Maybe at 4 years, they would have sold you. Because if they don't sell you now, then next year you only have 1 year left in your contract, right? You would have had a bit bigger bargain, or they definitely would have sold you next year, so they don't lose you for free the year after. He ended up signing a 6 year contract, and that's on him.
I mean, yeah, but hindsight is 2020. You know what I'm saying? You don't know how football is looking in a few years' time, and if Barcelona does even want him, because you don't know that for beforehand. You know what I'm saying? But for me, I don't know if I would still take him, bro. Because listen, this guy has to make a whole lifestyle change. You don't move from Spain to England and continue as everything is fine. You know what I'm saying? No, this guy has to change his whole life for his kids, for him, for his wife. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, this is not only I have no other options, so let me just join Arsenal. No, he has to take into consideration the whole every change that he needs to make in his life to join Arsenal at the end of the day. That's why I am of the mindset of I need a player that really wants to come to Arsenal because he's willing to change his whole lifestyle to join Arsenal. You know what I'm saying? Someone like Alvarez, I am afraid that when we buy him, that in a year time, that he's still going to look the other way and try to force a move, for example. And we are not a club that says no like that. You know what I'm saying? If a player wants something, we give it to them. You know what I'm saying? And I do not want to lose my marquee signing in a year or two time. That's the problem. If I buy Kenan Yildiz, I expect him to be 5 years at this club. My bad. If I buy Barcola, I expect him to be 5 years at this club. You know what I'm saying? If I buy Alvarez, I expect him to be a long, long time at this club, but not 2 years, for example. You know what I'm saying? 1 or 2 years, and that's my problem with Alvarez. And I said this to Hooks in the chat as well. At this point, I just buy Barcola and injured Krupi because we have no other choice. You know what I'm saying? That's what I would do. Barcola and Krupi. That's it.
Yeah, I mean, look, I know I'm being more and more open-minded to Barcola because again, just like Martinelli, as I said, with like he can play, he has speed, he can play on the left, and look, if he comes, he has to earn his spot because Zolis right now has that position locked. And like I don't want it to be like, oh, you came in, oh, this is yours, you start. No, sorry, if there's someone performing right now on the left wing, you have to replace him, not suddenly take your spot like that because this is Arsenal. We're one of the biggest clubs now. And he can also play as a striker, which is actually where he started playing in my if I remember at PSG when Messi and all were there, he was playing up top in a couple of games when Mbappe was playing on the left. So he fixes both situations. Like he can play on the right, as a striker, and he can play on the left. But I don't see that happening, honestly. I think we either get Julian Alvarez and keep Martinelli, or we get Julian Alvarez and we lose Martinelli and get that Pardo kid just because he'll be more accepting of being on the bench. Oh my God, Ren just scored a second goal and they're winning 2-0 against PSG. Wow.
Damn.
Yeah, crazy. It's the opening league game. So yeah, let's see what happens. This is it, guys. We're gonna wrap up here. I thought it'll go for an hour, but it went a bit longer because obviously we had very nice convo with my brother T. And big up to everyone who tuned in. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I will do a lot more regular shows, just to at least get to the 3,000 watch hours target. But yeah, we'll do another show. Maybe in the middle of the week. I think I'll probably do a show in the middle of the week. And I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.